Hello, everyone. Let's talk about antibiotics and the true cost we pay. Simon, 18 months old, presents with a fever, goes to the emergency room. Less than 24 hours, Simon passes away. Methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus infection in his lungs. This is a resistant bacterial strain. Our antibiotics weren't good enough. Unfortunately, this is not an isolated incident, and this is becoming more common. Antibiotics are great. Fantastic, wonderful. They have saved millions of lives. They've, over the past 100 years, helped increase life expectancy by 23 years. They're the cornerstone of medicine, enabling us to do many procedures and treatments that we couldn't do without antibiotics because of the risk of infection, things like organ transplants or open heart surgery. Antibiotics are good. What's the cost? 2.8 million resistant infections in the U.S. every year, 35,000 of those resulting in death, $20 billion in direct health care cost, 70% of our antibiotics being used in animals, livestock, aquaculture. Those are high cost. What does it matter if we're using them in livestock and agriculture? What does it matter if 30% of the prescriptions written for humans are unnecessary? Well, it increases antibiotic resistance. But let's trace the path. In humans, we know that it impacts our gut microbiome. We know that it imbalances that bacteria, that good, that bad bacteria. Same thing's happening in cows. Same thing's happening in the fish that they're farming. But we also know that antibiotics go through you, right? And not all of it's consumed by your body. So some of it comes out in your waste, just like in animals. That means it's going in our wastewater. It's going in our soils. When it goes into the soil, it gets into the plants, it gets into the groundwater, it gets into surface water. When it goes into wastewater treatment plants, most of them, vast majority, do not remove antibiotics. So that's then after treatment, it's still got antibiotics in it, it's going out into the water system, rivers, streams, etc. Antibiotics being present are going to alter the microbiome of those things as well, even the soil, because it's killing bad and good bacteria. Yeah, microbiomes are shifting. That is a huge impact. We've got human impact, animal impact, environmental impact. Very multifaceted issue. I wonder if we've got an approach that could actually help with this. Anything that we've seen, anything that looks familiar. How about a One Health approach? One Health is multidisciplinary because it's looking at problems that impact so many areas. Animals, humans, environmental. Look at all the things on that. Livestock and farming and antimicrobial resistance, climate change, pollution, blah, blah, blah. All of that. So One Health approach, here's some of the recommendations they have to combat antimicrobial resistance, overuse of antibiotics, as well as the way that these things impact the environment and shift microbiomes. So one thing is a global awareness campaign, making people aware. How do you dispose of medications? Rapid diagnostic tools. Do I even need an antibiotic, and which one would be best suited? Hygiene measures. Okay, that's environmental. If you reduce or increase hygiene measures and sanitation, then you reduce the number of infectious disease, right? Follow suit, which means you reduce the number of antibiotics needed. You also want to improve the way we monitor resistant infections. So the surveillance of resistant infection, resistant strains is very important. Promoting vaccine development and use impacts humans and animals, yes. Having more qualified infectious disease experts and professionals, using incentives for coming up with new treatments, new antibiotics, more research, more funding for that, incentivizing that research. And then a global coalition. Why? Because this is a multifaceted problem and it's also global. It's not just the United States, and we need to act now to get it under control to do better. Thank you so much for listening to my talk. I'm going to show you now the references that I used as well as my photo credits. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.